A great night of wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, with the NWA, and we'll talk a little bit more about that incident between Sting and the Four Horsemen a little bit later on. Our Ringsider of the Week segment will return next week, but right now my guest at this time really holds a very special position in Twin Cities professional wrestling right now. As you know, the PWA has become perhaps the leading independent wrestling promotion in the United States, and this gentleman is in fact the commissioner of the PWA, the Pro Wrestling America promotion. Terry Katzman, welcome aboard.
It's great to be here, Mick. I've wanted to be here for a long time, and I'm happy to be here. What can I say?
I know it has been a long time, and that's my fault, my friend. I do apologize for that. Before we talk about your stewardship in the PWA, Professional Wrestling America promotion, let's talk about your original involvement in professional wrestling from a fan standpoint.
Well, probably the original time, the first time I was on, or not mostly involved in professional wrestling, would be watching it, of course, like anybody else, probably starting in about 1963, 64, and ever since then, watching Vern Gagne's old shows, I've been hooked, and it's gotten worse each year, so.
Well, yeah, it's the same for me, but we prefer to say it's gotten better each year.
Better.
Better, not worse. Okay. Let's talk about another thing that you're involved in before we talk about the PWA, and I know that's that record shop out in South Minneapolis, Garage Door Records. A golden oldie buff like myself, there's a lot of stuff in there.
I think we've got a pretty good selection to please the young, the old, and the middle, everyone.
That'll be $500 for the plug. Okay,
right.
Let's talk about professional wrestling in the PWA. As I said, this is perhaps the leading independent promotion in the nation right now. I know that you have known Ray Webby, the matchmaker for the PWA, and Eddie Sharkey, the promoter, for quite some time. How exactly did you fall into the role of commissioner of the PWA?
Well, the first commissioner of the PWA was not able to continue his duties on, and I was on the matchmaking council with Mr. Webby and Mr. Sharkey, and we needed a commissioner. We needed someone to rule on these very controversial matches. There was decisions here, decisions there. Office work needed to be done, and I was appointed commissioner sort of to oversee decisions, oversee some of the matchmaking processes, and I've been involved with it for about a year now.
And you've done an outstanding job, and I know you were heavily involved in one of the real success stories of the past year, that Wrestle for Shelter at Loring Park. A great job there. As PWA commissioner, you're talking about some of these controversial things that develop. Just last week on SNR, we had Mark Allen, well, the Golden Idol. I'll refrain from calling him anything else. He was out here with Tommy Ferrara. He said some very derogatory things about Tommy Ferrara. Obviously, Tommy's mental condition at the time. He was very, very vulnerable. The Golden Idol took advantage of him. Now the talk is February 26th at George's in Fridley. I know you're heavily involved in the promotion. Sheik Adnan Al-KC and Tommy Ferrara. Nobody wanted this match because of Tommy's mental state. A lot of animosity there. Now the match has been signed. What's going on?
Well, I think Tommy and the Sheik are going to have a meeting at George's, and I think Tommy's in fine form to wrestle. I think his mental state is pretty stable, but he's fired up, and I think what happened with Mark Allen out here. He was obviously antagonizing him. He was trying to cause trouble, and Tommy was obviously very disturbed about it. And I think the situation's gotten out of control now, and the only way to settle it is in the wrestling ring.
Absolutely, and push comes to shove. And as you said, Mark Allen out here, obviously he doesn't know anything about the Vietnam War. He doesn't know that from a V8 juice. He doesn't know anything. His intent right out here was to antagonize Tommy Ferrara, get underneath his skin, even if it was that cheap shot route that he took. Terry, I know you mentioned to me, again, that Eddie Sharkey and Ray Webby and yourself very hesitant to put this match together because of the depth of feeling that Tommy Ferrara has, not only for the Sheik, but of course for the Golden Idol now. But it was the fan demand after the last bout at George's that really caused this. Again, the PWA, the fans' promotion.
Yep, the fans clamored for it, and I think the PWA is known as the fans' promotion, and after meeting with Mr. Webby and Mr. Sharkey, we decided that this match needed to be signed. And it needed to happen, and of course the only place it could happen would be at George's.
Back at the Snake Pit indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't envy this man. He has a very difficult job indeed, especially when he's dealing with the likes of the Golden Idol, Mark Allen. Remember, February 26th is the date at George's in Fridley. Tommy Ferrara, fired up, gets his chance against Sheik Adnan Al-KC.